I'm so glad you're still with us right here on Weekend Express, and I'm continuing this conversation with this panel that is accompanying me in studio today. And of course, right near me, I've got Lois Lihana, next to her, Dr. Choksi Prabha. After that, I've got Michelle Boyd, and away from me is Rhoda Ireri. So once again, ladies, as always, we're glad you're with us. And before we went on break, of course, we're talking about your journeys, the stereotypes you've faced. Now I want to bring it back a little bit to the other role of women, as we had also alluded to, which is now the family role, you know, the mother, the wife, the sister, the daughter. And sometimes in life it becomes such that, you know, you're warring within yourself, because like you said, Rhoda, to us, that, you know, your father, when he heard that you wanted to go into mechanics, he decided that that's not okay for him, and so you had to leave your home. So that you as a daughter and you as a professional woman in where you wanted to be, there was a conflict there. How do you think people are able to reconcile that, and how difficult is that really for a lot of girls out there?
Okay, I would say it is hard because it is a field that people have not yet accepted that ladies can thrive. But if we had several of us talking to these girls and talking to the parents, like we are doing as an association, we showed them, we started this when we were young girls, and we have been there, we got married. We have 2 small young girls in this association whom we have been speaking to. We tell them, move on. So if several people can continue talking to our girls and telling them it is possible, I am sure we can be fine. Because I went to Rusingeti Secondary School. I chatted with the girls, and they were so much interested. They were looking for my contacts, not to join the association, but to start the training. We've been going to children's home looking for the girls who might have dropped before they could complete their secondary schools. And we talk to them, and they are so much interested. If girls can be given that push, if we had people supporting us to even venture into other areas, not in Nairobi only, other areas in our country where we have girls who have given up, I am sure we can do very well. But we are trying. Okay. We are hoping we will get people to work with, corporates to support us. We have Safaricom. We are looking forward to being supported by them, so that we can, working together with them, so that we can be able to reach out to these girls. Our country is rich with women. We have a bigger number of women than men, all right? So if we could correct all these girls who are getting wasted in the villages and who have better brains, through the support of these corporates, we will be able to make our country better than it is today.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of people have said, we keep advocating for the girl child. What about the boy child? and that's always something that comes up. Lois, what do you think of that? Do you think that we've reached now the peak of empowering girl child, and now the boy child is actually suffering because of the lack of attention?
Well, I think not really, okay, to some extent, but I believe one thing, when God was creating women, He really had a purpose. You see, when you educate a woman, or even the education that has been given to a woman, it's enough to reach out to the man as well. So when women find themselves, it's really great compared to men. Men, there is a way, you know, their masculinity, they're empowered already, but you see the women with so much potential, but they're unable to unveil because of the stigmatization, the stereotypes, you see. So for me, it's about working together and complementing each other. It's not about giving one attention and the other one is left aside, you know. But it's when one, especially the woman which is the weaker vessel, is raised and given the potential or what she needs to become a real self, or what she has, then they're able to complement and make the world a better place by having compliments.
So there's an amazing saying that says, you know, when you empower women, you empower an entire household. It goes way beyond. So speaking of that household and family and motherhood, Michelle, you know, do you think at a certain age there's still that pressure that starts piling up on a woman? Why are you not married? You need to get married. You need to settle down. You know, what do you say to that?
Yeah, actually it does, and it becomes a very challenge, especially stage of life. For me, I would say I was lucky enough to have my kids early. I had one in college, and then I had one just right after I started my career.
Wow.
And to be honest, if I did have my kids that early, there was no way I'm going to have them, because at work, we work in a very harsh environment. Sometimes even you're just out in the deep sea, so you're not going to carry all your family out there.
Yeah.
And you're gone for a month, sometimes even 2 months. So whenever you're trying to start a family and you're working, we have different kinds of schedules. So 28, you work 28 days and off 28 days. So when you're trying to start a family, you're trying to have kids, you can't really leave an infant and go for a month. So what I've seen in my environment is either you don't have kids at all or you quit along the way.
So when you make that choice, if someone were to make the choice of, fine, I don't want kids,
yes,
as a woman, of course, do you think that they would then face this backlash?
I've seen some of them have, and we thank God now for the technology, now that there are different ways how you can have kids, and also adoption. Adoption has now been something that you can do without feeling, oh, this is not my child.
Yeah.
So if they feel later on in life that they actually want to slow down in their career, now they want to have a family, they have options right now to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Dr. Choksi, of course, you being in the medical space, not particularly in fertility, but of course knowing the general information there's IVF, there's, being able to freeze the eggs early on, and then if you want to have them later, you can. Do you think, what kind of strain does this really put a woman's body through?
I think, some of these things, like my own journey, I think I learned a lot from my parents, because of course we were growing up at a time, there was no TV, nothing at all. My father was a doctor, He taught me philanthropy in a very big way. Then my mother was actually, she was an orphan, but she was an extremely spiritual person. So from my parents, I actually learned at a young age that humility, compassion, spirituality, they lie at the source of all successes in life. And two very important lessons which I keep on quoting again and again. I learned from my parents that holding the ladder for others to climb gives you more happiness than climbing the ladder yourself, So I think that is what, and that thing has stayed with me, that I want to hold ladder for every albino child to really grow up. And they have really, in these last 12 years, I've seen transformation in Lois, which I can't believe that it has happened. And my parents also, I learned that, giving gives you more happiness than receiving things from them. These lessons, when they come with you, I think let's leave our daughters to take decisions for themselves. Let the society not really force them. And I think it's the role of a mother, even a mother-in-law for a person. I think a woman's life is really made by a woman, and it is also probably to some extent, derailed by another woman, So I think it's time that women, I think let us give every girl her choice, whether she wants to have an IVF baby, whether she wants to have get married, she doesn't want to get married. I think let them give a choice. And I think all these things, all these misunderstandings and things in the society will go if we have an educated community of girls. I want every girl to be educated. She will educate the country, and it all starts from the from your home. So really, it starts from the mothers, how they bring up their children, what values they give. Finally, in life, I think values count much more than even your expertise, education, everything. The values from the childhood that you have learned. Yeah.
I really, really think that makes perfect sense, really. Rhoda, do you think that this education of girls to be able to make their own choices and to live in a society whereby they are able to do that comfortably, how far do you think we are from that point?
I don't think we are very far. Because today, the unkindness I saw when I was being trained, it is not there now.
Okay.
It is minimal. So if we could give it a little push, we'll be there. We'll be smart. I have been working with Simbakot. I resigned because I wanted my vision to accomplish it, to talk to girls in our country, and to join my other associates. So I saw the girls who are being trained in Simbakot, they had a very good time. Up to today, I know they are going on well because they don't complain. So if we could have that push, and we could have people with goodwill to train these girls, we will be smart. will be there.
Already there are moves, there are steps that have taken root, and we just need to keep pushing forward.
Yes.
And like I said a little bit earlier, International Women's Day this time around, the theme is generation equality. So we're continuing to push the envelope. Something else that now, before you even get to the family and the children and all of that, of course, finding the right partner. So I've seen, I'm sure many can say that they have either faced this, experienced it, or seen other women who have faced difficulty in finding a partner because maybe they're intimidated by the woman. It could be her expertise, it could be her career achievements, it could be, you know, her education level as well. Michelle, have you encountered that sort of barrier?
Yes, and sometimes also we just impose on ourselves. And the society pose onto us. And to be honest, it's far from the reality, because I have a very, very supportive partner. You can imagine me going out for a month, he's taking care of the children. If anything goes on, he's right there. I have a very supportive family. And not only my family support him, but also his family support him, because they don't judge him like, hey, how come your woman is an engineer and, you know, she's gone, she's left you with kids. And so things actually have really changed, and it's up to the two of you to sit down and discuss, because now you're working together. This is now your family. And before I take any move, or before I take any position, when I see like it's gonna require a lot of my time, we sit down and actually we discuss. I said, hey, honey, you know, this opportunity has come up, and this is the good, this is the bad. I'll be going for 28 days, but actually I'll be home 28 days. What do you think? And we discuss, we look at, okay, what are the good or the bad? And also the support keep on going. Even he came with me this morning. He's here with us. And, you know, the support is just continuous in everything that we do. And once you have that support, actually you succeed. Because once you have the support inside the house, you are at peace. So when you go out, you'll be able to give your all, and you'll be able to be your best. Support is so important.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, of course, is that collaboration, that partnership, that working together is where it's important.
Yes.
So away from the personal life, of course, now let's get back a little bit to the professional arena.
Yes.
One thing that, you know, we have seen debated constantly is the pay gap between men and women, and across so many fields. And of course, it's not limited to Kenya; it's a global issue. You know, Dr. Choksi, would you say that you have encountered such a scenario where you have seen your male counterparts receiving greater pay compared to the women in the space?
I personally feel in the medical profession and teaching profession, it really doesn't matter. If you're a doctor and you're in a position, you earn the same salary as the male. So I think in my profession, actually, I've been very lucky that I've never had that sort of a discrimination. My husband is, of course, a gynecologist, so we are both doctors, and I think that also makes a lot of difference because he understands the medical profession. You know, if a doctor woman is married to somebody who's not in the medical profession, they might wonder, you know, 2 o'clock at night she's going to deliver a patient and all. They might not really understand. So for me, it has been a very, very supportive family. My father-in-law was also a doctor, senior Dr. Choksi.
So doctor's life.
So and I think that's how probably we made such good role models for our children. 2 of my children are also doctors. So I think it's really I think I'm the wrong person to say that, because in my profession, really I have never seen that I was earning less because I was a woman than somebody else. So it has really not been. But I think, you know, I think the newer generation is so much getting connected to technology and this and that. But you see that compassion, that, you know, like a solid shake hand with a friend, all these things are getting missing now. You know, people have got so many friends, but really close friendship is not there. And I think the younger generation, you know, I think with the computer age, you know, at a press of a button, the whole world opens up to you. They think at a press of a button, they'll meet the right partner. At a press of a button, it doesn't work that way. You really have to invest into first become good friend with somebody, see whether that person is, and also for a woman, you have to find out whether that's the right person who will give me good children. You know, somebody intelligent of your caliber, you know. So I think there are a lot of things that I think women have to, but finally I think it's, you know, it's your gut feeling. Like when I was at lecture at University of Nairobi, we were part and parcel of University of Munich, but we had small children. I could have gone to Germany many times as a visiting lecturer, but I refused because I knew I was staying with my in-laws, I had children, and they needed me more than, you know, my career needed me. So it's a little choice a woman makes to give. And like for people with albinism also, you know, in my own comfort zone of my office, in a week, one day only, Tuesdays, you know, that's when my husband is not there in the clinic, I have given Tuesdays to see these children. So it's not that I'm going out to look for people for albinism, they come to me.
So Lois,
so in my own comfort
there
zone,
as well.
yeah.
Yes.
So in my own comfort zone, and then you see some of these children have come, they've never seen another person with albinism. So I have very beautiful people like Lois and others in my office. So when they see so many beautiful people around, highly educated, speaking nicely, you know, and it speaks a lot for me as well, because, you know, people, when other patients come to me, they say, oh, you have employed a person with albinism. You see, that makes a little difference that, you know, as a, and of course, I have seen that, you know, men with albinism, even from the beginning I've seen, they got married, they get children. But women find it very difficult to get married with albinism, you know. So that's why my foundation is more for women. Previously, everybody, I want to empower my girls more. So my person who has worked for me has always been a girl, yeah.
Okay. Lois, you can also comment on that, on you know, what Dr. Choksi was saying about the difficulties in finding a partner.
Yeah, that's very true. I've seen so many girls with albinism. They have not really, unlike the men, the women have difficulty to get really people who will really stay with them in the family. And this has really made girls with albinism try to get people, and, you know, like lack of identity makes somebody really want to look for someone. You know, it's supposed to be the other way around, that the man is supposed to pursue, not the lady to pursue. You get? So, but most of them you'll find them with kids, but the husband is normally not there. And this has really made girls to really draw back and have low self-esteem, like, am I really not beautiful to get really a man? You get? But with time, that's why we're having mentorship program to tell the girls that you are beautiful, you don't have to go and get a man. You know,
to feel that you're enough.
To feel that you're enough.
Absolutely.
True. Yeah.
All right. So actually, I would love to get into that about the beauty standards for women, and we'll do that right after this short commercial break. So do stay with us right here as we continue this discussion on Weekend Express.